Welcome back to High School DxD, Anime Review Special number 3. This is reviewing the 14th light novel of the series, of the original series anyways, called Wizards of Career Counseling. Yeah, the whole thing about this book is that Issei is still looking for a magician. He doesn't get one in this book, in case you're wondering. Nope. The first half of the book is simply just basically how he is after he was resurrected back in book 11. Not book 11, book 12. And we also have various things happen. We have Reyes, and this is one of my negative points of the book. She basically doesn't do anything in this book at all. She is taken out partway through the story. I mean, she's not like killed or anything. You see, she and Kiba leave town with a group of vampires. Yes, vampires actually appear in this book to settle a dispute. And they want Gasper to come along. Gasper doesn't come along anyways because something really terrible happens to him. Of course, also, we have Issei himself, who is just relaxing in his house. And of course, we have the character Revel, who, in my opinion, is the best written character of the entire book. Yeah, despite the fact there's actually a good, whole couple chapters where she's not in. She's in a good chunk of the book, and she actually gets character development. Can't say for that for the other characters. Not really, no. Also, at the beginning of the book, yeah, apparently someone saw a rumor going around, because, well, of course, this is translated from Japanese, that Issei is dressing Reyes without an honorific. Maybe someone's spreading a rumor around the school that he's dating Reyes. It's not explicitly revealed. As far as I can tell, this is never followed upon by the time the book is concluded. And Revel, of course, what's she up to in the book? Well, the first time you see her, she's basically helping Issei with some paperwork, because she's Issei's manager, helping decipher symbols. Then after that, he goes to the bathroom, to clean up. And of course, Revel comes in, butt naked. Now, Issei, basically being a white gentleman, asks him, he just want to leave. And Revel's like, no, just stay. I'll wash your back. I should point out, though, not the first time I've seen this in something published from Japan. Or at least something like that. They did this also in Fairy Tail. Yeah, they did this in Fairy Tail, where they had a guy's back being washed by a woman. Yeah, when they had Natsu's back being washed by Urza. Though I kind of wish this was Lucy doing this. And of course they talk, pretty good conversation, she's looking after him. This is hilarious scene when after Reyes goes out of town, where all the girls, and I do mean all the girls live in Issei at this point, and this is basically Asia, Akino, Kiniko, Revel definitely, Zenobia, and Arena all sleep in his gigantic bed. Yeah, I'm like, wow. Revel's like the last one. She sleeps right in the corner because, well, she has to look after Issei. Why not? And it's probably the most hilarious scene in the entire book. Seeing that he's in bed with 10 women. And they're all wearing pajamas. Luckily enough, and it's mentioned Asia. Now, normally when you see Asia in the show, when she's in bed with Issei, well, when before Reyes moved into the house, Asia slept in her own room. After Reyes moved in, then she and Reyes slept in the same bed with Issei, and they both slept butt naked. And of course, later on, they had it where they had this hilarious scene where Akino was also in the same bed, but also butt naked, but Issei is fully clothed. Yeah. And the only reason why Akino says, because Reyes is out of town, people are thinking, hey, I can sleep in the same bed he can. Yep. And it is just so funny. Heck, even Orphis, the character who, they even reference the book, apparently she's kind of like someone who follows people around. She's kind of like a pet or mascot, as they describe her in the book. Yeah. And it's a quite hilarious first half of the book. And then, around the halfway point, when Issei's at school, and of course he's with his friends, and having like the other day, all of a sudden the school is attacked by a group of magicians. Yes. And of course it's revealed in this particular battle that Issei cannot go to his balance maker mode because what happened in book 12 when he was resurrected. Apparently his dragon is asleep at this point, so he can't exactly. He can summon his gauntlet. He can't go on the balance breaker, so he has this fence go behind the building, and he does a good job protecting the school. But in this particular attack, Asia, Revel, and Gasper get kidnapped. Now, this is my other negativity toward this book. Well, not against Revel and Gasper getting kidnapped. This is the first time these two have ever been kidnapped. Asia. This is the 14th book of the series, and this is the third time she's been kidnapped. Yeah, the second series I've seen, we have the same character getting kidnapped. At least that in the case of this one, she's not being held captive and basically being put in a position where it looked like almost her clothes about to come off. At least that didn't happen this time. When they found her after battling through a bunch of magicians. And it turns out that the actual target was not either Asia or Gasper. The real target was Revel, because it's revealed through the book that there's these fake Tears of Phoenix made by, well, another group of people who actually make these. The Tears of the Phoenix Tears are basically healing potions. They are developed by the Phoenix family, and that's their main source of income. And they've explained in the book how this thing is achieved. Basically, this is achieved via a ritual that they go through, and of course mixed with water and their own tears, mixed with some chemicals, and that makes up the Phoenix Tears. And they go to this factory where they have this bogus one, and it turns out these fake Phoenix Tears are made by clones of the Phoenix family. When Revel is basically herself asked about this, she kind of goes into shock. She's like genuinely surprised that this actually she was surprised this actually happened. And of course, toward the end of the book, Issei basically begs her to, despite all that's happened, he wants her to stay on as his manager. Yes. And from what I can tell, the book, she doesn't mean a response, but from what I can tell, she does agree to stay on. There's this hilarious scene before all this stuff happens, like where Kiniko and Revel fight over who gets to sit on Issei's lap. Yes, and then both of them sit on Issei's lap, where Kiniko sits on his left thigh, and Revel sits on his right thigh. And of course, Revel is told the reason why that the reason why Kiniko basically is so simple to sit on Issei's lap, because she's light. And also it's revealed toward the end of the book of why Revel is, why she came here, why she became interested, because what happened in the second book of the series, when Issei rescued Rias from Revel's brother, Riser, who actually shows up at the end of the book, when he finds out like he's there to rescue Revel, is like, oh, it's all over? Excuse me. She tells Issei why she became interested in it, because she heard stories when she was younger from her servants about heroes protecting people they love. So she researched Issei. Yeah, did a background check on him. Basically asked people about him, despite the fact he's a pervert. She finds out how much of a gentleman he is to other people, how he's nice, how he cares about his friends and family, and of course everybody else. So that's how she doesn't say in the book. It's hinted at that through her inner thoughts that she's in love with Issei. She doesn't tell him that. Also, at one point in the book, she asks Issei to, if he wants to, he can pet her head. He does. He does pet her head like that, like pat her head, because she wants him to do it. I'm a little surprised that he doesn't tell her that whenever King goes on and on around, feel free to sit on my lap anytime you want to. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't say that in this book, which is quite unusual. I would have thought he would have minded. And yeah, though I should point out though, when he saw her naked when she went to the bathhouse thing, not the first time he's seen her without her clothes on. Yeah, this is actually the second time this has happened. The last time, believe it or not, was in the last book in that story that was adapted for the 4th OVA. Yeah, the one where she's in the hot spring. That was the first time he saw her with her clothes on. This is the second time. A lot of the other characters see frequently without clothes on. Revel has only happened twice. In the case of Riser, it's like he just shows up for a quick cameo, like when he showed up, like, oh, it's over, and you never see him again the whole book. Yeah. Overall, this was a fantastic. Oh, yeah. I should point out, though, when they have the meeting between the Coke Club and the vampires, yeah, this is particularly a very odd meeting, even though they demand to have Gasper go along. And Issei's like, if you're not gonna, like, Issei points out, and Azazel agrees with him on this, that even if we allow him to go with you, what guarantee do you have to have he comes back? And of course, this vampire acts like a complete dick to him. It's like, who are you to talk to me, you middle class devil? I'm like, seriously, just answer his question honestly. Like, who are you to answer? Who are you to speak to an envoy? Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, yeah, this particular guy, this vampire is a dick. This guy's a complete jerk. And as far as I can tell, this vampire never shows up again in this book. After this one scene, the vampires are mentioned like a couple times after this, but they do virtually nothing in this story at all. And of course, we also have LaFay Pendragon. She shows up a few times in the book, still being a fan. Of course, Issei also runs to another person who's a big fan of his show, big fan of him. Yeah, he has likes two people, and the second person who meets him gets a chance to ask him for his autograph, which he does. Yeah, the magicians, well, they're not really all that important. It's also mentioned what happened to the Hero Brigade. Yeah, 3 of them were sent to Hades. Not kidding. 3 of them were sent to the god of death. The Greek god of death. They were sent to him. Okay. As for what happened to the rest of the hero faction, never revealed. And as for, there's also Team Vale. Yeah, they are referenced in the book. I mean, they show up a couple times in the book. And they don't really affect the plot at all. Vale himself is just wandering the planet, basically looking for a good opponent, aside from Issei. Yeah. Aside from that, this is actually an okay story. It's just that, well, the magicians are terrible villains. These particular magicians, they're not really interesting at all. And of course, Issei is still looking for a potential good person to be his actual magician. I'm not going to reveal who it is. I'm going to find out for myself exactly who it is, because I kind of know who it is. But I'm not going to say who it is. And one person basically did comment I was spoiling future events, even though I got to a certain point in the light novels. I kind of know who it is. I am going to find out for myself how this happens. But yeah, that's really it for this particular review. I still have like about 3 more reviews I want to do today. Yep, and it's going to be for Fairy Tail, Black Clover, Tokyo Ghoul, and hopefully 7 Deadly Sins. If not, I'm hoping to do at least 2 more after this, at least 3 or 4. Okay. Excuse me. But until I see you in the next video. Bye.